do it here because it's easy for me.
Right.
But it's just I can't plug in. I can't put a flash drive into this.
Right. Yeah. No, there's definite limitations, and that is for sure one of them.
The way I can do it here.
Okay, there we go. All right, Joan's going to be joining us. Joan Dietrich will be joining us on this aspect of it. So I want to have it open in case she emailed in a question, but I thought I'd do that just in case we have any other questions pop up. All right.
Sleep thought he was coming yesterday.
Yeah, he thought he was coming last week also, so we'll see. I'm not saying he won't, but we'll see how that goes. All right, we'll leave that open like that, and that like that, and we should be good to go. See if that works, since I don't have multiple monitors open or available to me. All right.
Good coffee. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, I think, it's really weird because down at I've never, I go on, use the internet and you find answers to your questions. And I've always wondered, what is the right ratio to make a good cup of coffee? And there's no consensus on the internet. Everyone has their own, and it does. It depends on if you want your coffee strong or if you want your coffee light or all those different things, and the type of coffee, if you have a stronger, anyway. So down at the other end of the building, we've got the machines that make the coffee that have the pumps, and those are half cup scoops. And you use one scoop, put it in there, makes decent cup of coffee. So I've been trying the half cup in here, and it's been coming out way too strong. And I don't know if it's because the system is so much more condensed, and so it's really pulling everything out of the coffee grind, whereas down there it's a much larger tray. The drip tray is much larger, and so it doesn't quite hit everything all the time. So I tried one less scoop today.
So how much did you do in this one today?
3 of the, I think they're
a scoop thing?
Yeah, 3 of the scoops instead of 4.
Because I made the coffee before. I did 4, right?
Yeah.
Because you said to that.
Yep, because that's what I've been going with.
Well, everybody was happy over that, well, as you know.
Yep.
What's the
Okay.
password to get on to your Wi-Fi?
It is 1212 Connection Street, capital C, capital S, and then just ST for street, not the whole word.
1212.
It's the church's
Capital.
address. C. Yep.
Connection.
Yep.
Here's Bob.
There's Bob. Yeah, Bob mentioned coming today. Want to make sure class was.
Capital S.
Yep. And then just T, and you're done.
Hey, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Morning, Bob.
So how did we get to you where you are talking to people on your thing? Is that on iCloud or Cloud on OneDrive?
Where I'm talking to people.
Well, you guys all get tied together on here, and I
Excuse me?
never know how to do that. So I've got Cloud Indeed or Cloud.
I
OneDrive.
know. It's great. No, she was just asking about the Wi-Fi password.
Oh, no, but
and then, no, what I was talking about just a minute ago is I broadcast my class live to the internet.
oh.
So for people like Joan and for John, and I've got a friend in San Diego who she hasn't been on in a while because I think her work schedule has changed, but she used to attend every Monday online. So all my classes are broadcast live on YouTube, and then after they're over, you can actually, if you ever want to re-go over something that we talked about. They're a little weird to watch. Of course, it's always weird to watch yourself and hear yourself, but they're a little weird because I do get up and go and help people individually. So then you watch the video and there's like this 5 minutes where I'm walking around the class helping people, and you're just, the actual video is just staring at a blank wall.
So you do it on YouTube?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, you wouldn't want to, because then you'd be hearing like a 2-second delay of me talking here and then you hearing it there.
Oh, I mean,
So
I don't have you, I don't know how you do YouTube
But,
being on here, so I don't know how you do that.
basically everything you would do on an iPad, you would download an app for it. So you go to the App Store and download. You can go to the internet and just go to youtube.com, but most companies like YouTube make apps so that it's quote unquote easier to get there. So yeah, you just let's see.
I'll share with you the group of experience I had last week. I was down in Oregon with my brother-in-law. This is a 5S. He's got an older one.
Right.
He was on
Pull this up.
Wi-Fi in the house. Through the Wi-Fi came an update, and he didn't authorize it. It just started updating. Got about halfway through, and it crashed his phone.
Mm.
And I went with him to 4 different stores, AT&T, a couple of different ones, and got 4 different answers. But bottom line, he finally found somebody that could wipe it clean and reprogram it, but he lost all of his data.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that did it said he was like the 100th guy that came in because Apple had a glitch in their download. To me, that was frightening to think that that could happen.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Why it's important, and that's why it's important to either back up using iTunes on your computer or using iCloud.
So if you back up and you use iTunes, where does it go?
It saves a copy of your phone on your computer through the
On
iTunes.
this computer?
Yeah.
So how would I do that?
So you would. Oh, okay. So real quick, we'll get to that in just a
Okay,
second.
fine, I'm sorry.
No. This will be just super fast. You're asking about apps. So as you can see there, this is my multimedia folder, and on there you can see. Let's see what that does. That does nothing. But you can see in the bottom right corner is YouTube, and so then you just click on YouTube, and YouTube loads up, and you can start using. Then you click search for what you want, and you start watching videos on YouTube on your phone or your iPad. So simple apps, work real quick as opposed to going to the website.
Is it that one?
It's the one by YouTube. Just make sure it's not YouTube free or YouTube this or YouTube that, but actual.
It says YouTube, and then underneath it says Google Link.
Google Link, that's the one you want. Yep, Google bought out YouTube a number of years ago. So yeah, that's what you want. There's all different kinds of clients for YouTube, but I would definitely say use the basic one. So, Bob, you would go to iTunes, pull up iTunes on your computer, and this works for PC or Mac. Obviously, it'll just function, and you'll access it a little differently depending on what you're using. Let's see if we can pull it up on the screen here.
iTunes is a little musical bar.
Yeah, it looks like it's a music note. So you pull that up. I am currently in my TV episodes right now. But
So I see at the top, My Music.
yeah, so there's my music playlist for you. Now you won't see it because the icon doesn't show up until you actually plug your device into your computer. So the device, just like your phone won't show up, anything won't show up on your computer.
I'd have to plug my phone into.
Yes.
I didn't bring my cord.
Well, there is Wi-Fi syncing, but we'll go with basic. So you take your power cord, you take the wall plug part of it off, plug your phone in, and yep. So now you've got right here now an iPhone icon has showed up.
Where?
Right here.
Right in the top corner.
So you've got your music, videos, TV shows, ... and then the little iPhone showed up.
Okay.
So you click on the iPhone, and then right here in the center it says backups. Mine is set to the iCloud automatically. Can someone check the door?
I go.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay.
And then backup now. So that's how you would back it up.
So I'm sorry, you lost me.
Okay. So you click on your phone,
Got it,
and then it automatically brings you up to this page here.
all right,
And then right in the center is this gray section called backups.
okay.
And then you just click the icon backup now.
And where does that back it up to?
Somewhere on your
Cloud
computer.
or-
No, physically on your computer.
So then
Yep.
how do I restore? Is there an option for that?
Right next to the backup now is restore backup. Let's see right where my little mouse is right here.
So is that gonna take all of the data on my iPhone and put it in my iPad or my MacBook?
Yes. Well, one of the things you'll want to tick is right here. It says encrypt iPhone backup. And you'll see in the small text underneath it, it says this will allow account passwords, your health app data, which I don't think most of us use, and HomeKit data to be backed up. So you would tick that encrypt iPhone backup thing. It'll ask you for a password.
What would be the password?
You create one.
So what's the purpose of this?
So that if someone, because it's now got a lot of personal data on there, so if someone tries to restore your data to their phone for whatever
I would have
reason,
to have my Mac. do that.
there'd be a lot of processes involved. But by encrypting it and having a password, then only you know that
But I
password.
don't have to do that
You do not have to. do
because
that.
this is already encrypted with a password to get into it.
Right.
So it would be a little more confusing
it's-
to me.
It
They
could
have
be.
2 levels of password.
Yes, but it allows this information to also be backed up, which it won't if you don't do that.
It allows what you,
Your account passwords, your health kit information, and your home kit information to be backed up also.
so if I don't do that, I don't have any problem as long as it's. so
Correct.
What I just want to do is be sure I back up the data out of my phone
Right.
into this device in the event. Now, if I lose my phone or I run over it in the car, which I did once,
Yes.
then I can get a new phone and restore all the data from this via this
Yep.
approach.
Yep. Yeah. When you you just plug your brand new phone in that you get from the store, and click that same restore from backup, and it'll turn your new phone into your old phone, data and app wise.
Now this is a 5S, what if I bought a new 6S?
Doesn't matter.
What if I bought an Android? Maybe a problem.
That it won't work.
Got it.
Yep. You can only back up data from one phone, from one iPhone
So
to
that
the
would be a
next.
good thing to do.
It's a very good thing to do. Yep. Mine is set to iCloud backup. So every night when I plug my phone in for the night to charge it, during the night, it just does its
So
thing.
that's iCloud setting that's right there.
But you can also do the iCloud setting from your phone. You don't have to do the iCloud setting from the computer.
So what would you recommend? That I back it up to the cloud or back it up to my MacBook?
So there's a couple things to consider when asking that question. One is you need to find out how much data would be backed up to the cloud, because you get 5 gigabytes for
So I
free.
might exceed my allocation.
You might exceed your limit. However, it's only $1 a month, which I know it sounds. Oh, now I'm getting into this, but it's $1 a month for 50 gigs.
So what do I normally have on the iCloud?
5. So for $1 a month, $12 a year, you can get 50 gigs of backup for your phone, only for your phone or iPad. But you can't just kind of stick anything up there that you want.
So if I backed up to the cloud and somebody stole my phone and my MacBook Pro, I would have that information on the cloud, so I could get a new phone.
And then when you're setting up your new phone, it says, "Is this a new phone?" And you say, and then there's an option or restore from iCloud backup. You click that. You'd enter your iTunes, your email address associated with your iTunes account, and then you'd enter in your password associated with your iTunes account, and then it will say this. It'll give you the name of the backup, so Bob's iPhone, and it'll give you the date of when it was last backed up. And then you click on that, and it restores
So
it
there's
to
an
its most
advantage to
recent.
put it in the cloud in the event that I lose both these devices.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, it's just a matter of how much you would actually use.
Would you, your cord, is that the one that is just the charger?
Yeah, it's just a charger, and then you just unplug the wall part off.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yep.
You have a different wall plug than I got.
Which,
I think you push it in there.
oh, that's not a wall plug. This allows the phone and the iPad to display on a TV, on an HD TV. I don't have a wall plug in here.
Well, I haven't. No, I just thought, I thought that was all.
Yeah. No, that's an adapter that allows it to play up on the TV. So there you go.
Okay, I just went into YouTube on this thing. And I got that, but how do you make the app go onto your iPad?
It is. See how it went from download to the word open?
Oh, you mean there?
Yeah, how it says open now. That means, so if you go to your home screen on your last page, hopefully, it always installs it on the very last page, the very next spot. You'll see the YouTube icon.
One, no,
Keep going.
I'm going forward now.
It should be on there on your very last page, unless there's, well, anyway, it always fills in the most. There it is right there. There must have been. So what here's a weird thing, but something that an iPhone or an iPad does. It always fills. It never fills your front page. Don't ask me why. But your very first page, if you download an app, it does not put it there. But it'll then search pages 2 through whatever you have and find the first available spot and put it there. So if you had recently downloaded an app on page 2, it'll put it right there. If, however, you've got all those full, then it'll stick it on the very last page, the very last icon. So hopefully that makes sense, but that's just how they do it. It never fills the first page, even if there's spots available. And then from there, it finds the very next available slot. And if not, then obviously the next available slot is the very last one on the last page. So you must have had space, or it was already on there and you didn't realize it, which happens, and there's a search feature on your phone. You can search for apps or things if you don't know if you have it or not.
Is that what
Or
that-
you can't find it.
Is that thing up there?
No, that's searching in YouTube.
Oh.
So
Okay, so we're at YouTube now, so if you were,
you just search for whatever you want to watch. In that little search icon that you showed me, you click on that and you type in whatever you want to look up.
well, if you were doing stuff on YouTube, how would I get to that?
You'd have to, it's Tech for God, so you'd look up Tech for God. But the E in tech is a 3, 4 is just the number 4, and the O in God is a 0, not a O.
This is a different topic, but
No
how
problem.
do you close out?
An open app?
No, like what you looked at, it stores it in your phone.
For,
Just swipe it up.
Just
yeah, the open apps.
Yeah. Well, no, just like what you looked at, like when I went on Safari and I looked at the movie showtimes. It's
You can either close the tab, or you can clear your browsing history.
how do you
So
do that?
If you go into Safari, you will see an icon. You'll see the row of icons on the bottom of the page.
Mhm.
There'll be something that looks like an icon of an open book.
Mhm.
Click on that. And that very first tab there is your history, and it says history in the top center in black. Do you see that?
Mhm.
And then in the bottom right, it says clear.
Okay.
And then you can do the clear the last hour, today,
Oh, yeah.
today and yesterday, or for all time.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yes.
Okay, so then what about the other things that have been opened?
Open apps,
Like
like this screen where you've got your different apps.
yeah, like my calendar's open, my
Right.
pages is open, my
So-
music's open.
You know how to double tap to switch to them?
I double tap. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So now you've got the scrolling
Mhm.
open apps.
Mhm.
You swipe, you use your finger and swipe up.
Just swipe up.
Yep. And it'll
It'll go away. Oh,
swipe
okay.
away.
Thank you.
And that saves battery and
Yeah.
it saves, your resources running on your phone.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
About text messages
Text messages.
or deleting.
As far as deleting, if you want to delete a specific message or a group of messages, you hold down on the message itself, and then it'll bring up a menu that says copy or more. So you just hard press on it until
yeah.
that pops up. Then you push on the more button, and it puts a little check mark next to that message, and then it shows blank, not check marked things next to your other messages. And then you just tick all the ones you want, and then you push the trash can. Or there's the delete all.
Ah, that's it.
Or if you want to delete an entire conversation, when you go to just all your different sets of text messages, these are all the different people I'm texting.
Right.
You swipe from right to left, and then you push the delete button.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. No problem.
Well, I have a very basic thing.
I know you do, and I'm glad you're here today.
Yes.
Welcome.
I was trying to put a disk in a folder. And it looks like it's going in there, but it won't stay, and I can't get it to.
But it doesn't actually copy over there.
No, it's doing something.
Okay. Well, get yourself ready, and then when you're ready to go, we'll help you out.
See, I was thinking about going to, that's the size of the laptop I was using this morning.
Uh-huh.
Oh, just killer.
Yeah.
That's like I was trying to explain, like that just.
Yeah, Well, and that laptop, that's more of it's a laptop, but I think it's built to be more of a home laptop, because you can see how thick it is, how raised up it is,
It was
Which-
awful warm.
which it also means that just a little bit more to warm it up.
Want some coffee?
Thanks.
Okay.
I will send it.
Okay.
I'll come around.
Not even open.
But there's some newer computers, like the new 2-in-1s, like what Bill Sleep got, are much thinner. All the MacBooks are quite thin. Let's see.
Sandy?
As I walk away, let's see if we can
Fine, thank you.
give something better for people to look
Got
at.
everybody.
This was our, again, if we don't get to it, it's fine, but people at home, if they're looking, they can look at the National Do Not Call Registry list.
Good, thank you.
There's
I'm interested is in-
this much, oh, this where you want.
I can't even get it to open.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it just takes a minute for it, when you plug it in, it takes
Yeah. Oh,
a
it
minute
takes a
to
minute
say,
to-
oh, look, now we're
We're-
working. And mine was doing that yesterday because
Okay, and so when I was trying to do that, all of a sudden now I've been getting saying that I need to upgrade, and I've never done that before.
oh yeah, they want you to. Windows wants everybody to upgrade to Windows 10.
Mhm.
So, and some people are, some people aren't. You know, it's
Isn't that a poor system?
no.
Like-
Well, I shouldn't. People, this is what I've said all along, and I'm gonna stick to it. Though again, I've switched over to Apple to OS 10, so I haven't been on a PC for a while now, for any length of time. But for people who are upgrading from Windows 8 to Windows 10, I think people enjoyed that experience. Because going up. People going from 7 to 10, it wasn't quite, because the 8 was so different, people didn't like it, that 10 is kind of a hybrid between 8 and 7. Whereas people with 7 were happy with 7 and might not enjoy some of the 8-like features that are in Windows 10.
Okay.
And that's just my personal.
What if you're a Vista girl?
If you're Vista, you should get away from Vista.
Oh,
Vista
really?
is bad news.
Is it really?
There's so many problems. They might have fixed a lot of them, but when Vista came out, there were so many problems with Vista.
Yeah.
ME and Vista were two really bad ones. That's why so many, I mean, people today, you'll hear about even offices that are still running Windows XP.
Yeah.
Because Windows XP was such a good,
The surgery
solid
center that I work
stable.
for still does XP.
And Microsoft just last year ended their support for Windows XP after 10. Windows XP is over 10 years old now.
I tried doing 8 and I couldn't handle it.
You're not gonna. Okay.
Finally. And,
So you want to copy what to what?
This one up here, this
The cruise,
cruise one,
and where do you want it to go?
I want it to go in a folder, and it's sitting in.
Oh, it's on a disk.
It's on a disk, and I'm trying to get it.
Okay.
Because I think that I've had help with getting this in other things.
Okay.
That's why this is a surprise.
So we right click on the folder, and we click copy,
Oh,
and then where do you want to move it to? Just your pictures?
well,
Where on your computer do you want to move it to?
well, I would like to have it where I can get to it. Or whatever. If it's in the folder, can't I just get it from the folder?
Yeah, but where do you? So you said it's on the disk.
Uh-huh.
Where do you? So where do you want to put it onto your computer?
Well, just like these others, although those were pictures, I don't think there was ever a disc involved.
Oh,
And
then
so
where do
that's
you want?
why- So that's a new thing to have a disc to put in.
Well, you had said. Let's see. There's not actually anything in that folder.
No,
So where are the pictures then? They're there. Okay, so they're there, and you want to get them to this folder.
yeah,
Okay.
and
Got
then I would like to be able to watch them from there.
Yes, from just your computer, not the disk. Okay. Got it. I thought we were already on the disk. Okay. So now we're going to do some shortcuts. So we're going to hit Control A, which highlights every picture in there. And then we're going to do Control C, which copies every picture. And then we're going to go to your picture folder. And we're going to Control V, paste them.
I only got down to 42 left.
And now it's going to start the process of copying them over there for you.
Oh,
And then you just wait till that's all done, and all the pictures should be there now.
okay.
And they'll still be on the CD, but now they'll be on the CD and on your computer in your cruise folder.
Okay, what about this one that says I need to update? Do I really need to do anything, or is that just?
No,
what-
it's optional.
Oh,
It's
okay.
optional.
But sometimes it's hard to even get the email. And I wondered if I did something in trying to get this, if I did something about the email.
That shouldn't affect the email. But yeah, they're just trying to get you to upgrade to Windows 10,
Oh,
and I wouldn't worry about that. And
okay, for the minor things.
yeah, and yeah, that shouldn't affect your email. So,
Okay.
and if you're getting emails about that, just delete them. Don't click on them. Or
Strange.
yeah, we've talked about that a lot in this class. If you ever get strange,
Swiss Hotel. I mean,
Yeah,
when I
you
went
don't
to
ever-
Switzerland to get a hotel.
Yeah.
Baltimore Builders or something. I mean,
Yep. In fact, that goes with something Joan, that was the email Joan asked about. Her question for the day was asking about something she keeps seeing on Facebook that keeps popping up in her timeline. And so I looked it up. And we'll
Okay.
get to that in just a second.
I deleted all the messages.
Yep.
Okay, but the person's name.
Yep.
and date stays there.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
because you didn't
okay.
delete the
Oh,
whole conversation.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay,
Now that
got it.
disappears. So Joan was getting, let's pull up,
Oops, I'm sorry.
no problem. Joan was getting something on her timeline saying, do you have an answer regarding the validity of the daily news tech support notice I keep getting on my Facebook about the shocking truth behind how long your PC may last? Is this something worth buying into? And so I looked it up, and first when I went to their Facebook page, it's really weird. When I went directly to their Facebook page, I can only get articles from 2014. But when I actually typed in that exact thing, the daily news tech, etc. support, and the name of that thing, it was from January 6th of this year. So very bizarre. So one, that kind of threw up a little bit of a flag for me. But what it eventually leads you to is to this program called Turbo Clean PC. And I looked it up, and it has horrible reviews, and a lot of it is saying that it's malware. It's not a virus. It's not something that will crash your computer, but that it's not good for your computer. It's one of these mini programs that try to scan your computer for all the things that could potentially be wrong with it, and then remove those items, and it supposedly speeds up your computer. And there are some that do work well. I personally have used Advanced System Care in the past for a PC, and usually that works pretty well. But this one has bad reviews. Even this one says how to remove this program permanently from your computer, which leads me to believe that in some cases, even when you click the uninstall icon, it's still on your computer, which is not good. And when you do these types of PC cleaning programs, they are removing things from your registry, from your system files, and sometimes, especially bad programs, will attach themselves to essential programs on your computer. And so then you say, well, yes, I want to completely remove this program and all of its associated files. And so then it removes essential system files, and the next time you load up your computer, it won't load because you're now missing that file that helps make your computer work. Usually those programs aren't worth buying. And if you do want to get one, really do your research. Like I said, Advanced System Care seems to work well. There's even a free version you can try. It won't remove everything it finds, but it will remove some things. And in some cases, it does help speed up your computer a little bit, but it's never gonna, no program that I've ever read about is going to turn a computer from 2002 to compare to a brand new computer for today, nor will it, it just can't speed up your computer like that. So I would be very leery of programs like that. So here's,
Speaking now.
yeah. And for Joan, if she doesn't even, I'm even a little more leery if she doesn't like this page, the Daily News Tech Support, then she shouldn't be getting it on her timeline, which again makes me a little leery that somehow this company or someone pretending to be this company is somehow ending up on her timeline. So if anybody is receiving things on their Facebook page that they haven't liked and it's not promoted by Facebook, then it shouldn't show up on your timeline, and you should be a little concerned about that. So, and I know we've discussed PC cleaners in the past, but it's always worth bringing up again, especially when people are unsure about it. Yeah, here's the specific one. So then you click on the article, and the article takes you to this web page, which isn't even the Daily News Tech Support's website. It's some other third-party website that then takes you to that Turbo Cleaner PC program. So when you have to go through that many steps to get to what this company is suggesting you do, it's probably not a good idea also. So there's that. Any other questions? Yes, Richard.
I get message, Facebook comes into my regular email. I click on it, I can read the message sometimes.
Right.
And then other times it wants me to go through the whole thing about my password.
Yeah, which
Most of the time I forget what it is. But for example, I'll just do it this way. I just clicked on down yonder down here, but it wants me to install, I don't know what to do with this.
well, yeah, if there's something that you don't know what it's doing or
Well,
what
it
it's
says it wants
asking.
me to go to Messenger. I don't know, is this all tied to Google?
Oh, Facebook, no, Facebook is all Facebook. But because you're on an iPad, Facebook has the Facebook app, and then it has a separate messaging app if you want to send private messages to people.
Well, I clicked on the one that was, I went to Facebook on my iPad,
Right.
the thing on there, and then it's got this, and I don't know what to do. Do I say install it? I don't know.
It only if you want to.
Well, I don't know what it is. I mean, that's
If
what
it's
I meant.
if it's Facebook Messenger and you message people on Facebook privately, then you need to use that app. Yeah. But if you don't know what it's talking about, then just don't do it. That's always been, that's the safest thing to do. If you don't know what it's asking,
Well,
and you don't know why it's asking you, then I always say ignore it. If there's
Okay.
a strange email, ignore it. If there's an email asking for your password, ignore it or report it. But never click on those links. Never hand out your password or your email address. That person in Africa or Saudi Arabia does not have your inheritance from your long lost cousin.
Well, I've been through that a zillion times, yeah.
So, in fact, I just saw a news article saying that some guy was in correspondence with one and Mark mentioned it also, I think, had
Was
been
that
in
the football
correspondence with some Saudi Arabian prince for over a year or a year and a half or something. And finally, the prince gave up on him because he was not getting his bank account information from him. So, so just don't do those kinds of things. And it may be legit, but if you don't understand it and you're not sure why it's asking you, just don't do it. Same thing with the upgrade. If it's asking you to upgrade and you don't understand it and everything else is going fine, just don't do it.
Well, the email has been very slow, and for a while I had trouble getting to it. So, and I didn't know if I'm trying to get this, I was doing something else.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you have about 1 million web pages open. And so you might want to start closing some of those
Well,
out. And that's why your computer would be running slow because
Yeah, and those come up by themselves because, and I.
then you might have some, it may not be a virus, but as we talked about malware,
Oh,
you might have some malware on your computer.
okay, but they show up.
Yeah. And that might be why those things are popping up on their own. And that may be what's asking you to upgrade it. And it's
Oh,
completely non-legitimate.
okay.
So do you have an antivirus program on your computer? Do you know, like Norton or McAfee or?
No, I did put one on one time. But
It might be worth,
doing something.
yeah, you can get Avast, A-V-A-S-T, for free. And obviously it won't do everything that the paid version will, but it'd be worth downloading the free one and then running a scan on your computer and see what it finds. And you might be surprised and maybe a little scared or shocked at what it finds.
Well, I'm scared of shock most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So, but it's all, if you, you know, even if you're doing simple stuff, I mean, my mom never did anything bizarre on the computer. You know, she'd surf the web, she'd check her email, and yet almost every single computer she got a virus on it. I don't know how she accomplished that. Whereas I do all kinds of weird stuff with my computer and go on websites and download some things that are sometimes
Knock on
questionable.
wood.
Is there any real wood in this room? So, but you know, I've had my fair share of horror stories, but for the most part, I would consider myself lucky. And
Well, I got this thinking my grandkids might write to me this way, but they don't even work on it.
no, it's all about the phones now.
Well, they're all beyond and other things, other gadgets.
Yeah, yeah. I have, you know, my brothers and my dad and I are all on one texting conversation that's ongoing, and that's the primary. And so we don't talk on the phone, but technically we talk every single day.
Well, they all Facebook because none of them are close together.
Mhm.
They all have Facebook things. And
Yeah,
that's
two of my brothers moved to Pennsylvania. So yeah, it makes it more, and I moved up here. So we're all over the country now.
I get to see the USA by visiting.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Yep.
so I should be able to now watch those pictures on the computer.
Yeah, yeah. And you can take that disk out and not worry about it. Just
Yeah.
store it away and
Yeah, because I have.
keep it as a backup
Yeah.
in case anything happens to your
Yeah,
computer.
And getting that done and then figuring out about the email that was working.
Yeah, and I really do think that if you get a lot of those pages closed and maybe run an antivirus scan,
Okay,
that might solve a lot.
okay.
Maybe not a lot, but it should help solve some of the problems that you're experiencing.
Well, here, I just got, this is a problem and it's been detected and Windows has been shut down to prevent damage to attempt to reset the display driver. Timeout.
So, again, sometimes that's legit and other times it's not.
So she downloads that virus program you were just talking about. Will that go into that and say clear that away and stop it from coming in if it's wrong?
If it's a virus, if it's a legitimate problem with the computer, it won't do anything about it. But here's the Avast website. It's simply just avast.com. And then you can download it. Make sure you download the free version, not the free trial. Because the free trial will work for about a month and then stop working. But if you download the free version, then it should work fine.
So
In fact, that's what I'm running right now, I think.
so
Yeah,
that's-
Avast.
That's on your computer right now?
Avast is, yeah. I was running, because I get, and we've talked about this before also, but again, doesn't matter. A lot of internet service providers, you don't need one for your Mac or for your tablet.
So you've got it on there.
But this is a laptop, not nearly as secure as an iPad.
Oh.
Because anything that you're getting or downloading are all through apps. And so it's really hard to give your iPad a virus or your iPhone. But so this is a Mac, this is a laptop. Different, similar but different enough that yes, you can get viruses. And
What was the address again of that?
avast.com. You can get, depending on your internet service provider, some of them offer free antivirus programs because they don't want you to get a virus and spread it through their system, not necessarily to Comcast or the Hood Canal, but to people they provide service to. And so sometimes they offer, I know that Comcast does, which is who I have at home. However, there's a conflict between, I think they use Norton. And there's some, when I upgraded to El Capitan on my Mac, there's a conflict between it and Norton, and it wouldn't let me connect to the internet. And so I thought it was for upgrading to the newest operating system, something glitched, because I got a early download of the operating system, but it was the final product. And anyway, so I thought that's why it glitched. I looked on my phone and my tablet because I had internet on those devices and just did some searches through Google and eventually found out that sometimes Norton and Macs don't talk and play well together. And so then my brother, Kevin, has had a Mac a lot longer than I have. And he said that he's never had any issues with running Avast on his Mac. He's never had any problems like that. So then I decided to download Avast instead. But our Mac at home, our desktop, is running the free version of Norton that we get from Comcast with no problems, running El Capitan. So who knows? Things like that happen. But yeah, antiviruses are a must nowadays. Even if it's a free one, you need to have something on there. People are getting trickier and trickier all the time. So
When I was in Phoenix, the Apple store was about a mile away, so I went over.
yeah, you mentioned that yesterday. That's great.
I wish it was closer here.
Yeah.
You can go on their webpage and they'll list all the classes and you can sign up right on the webpage.
Oh, cool.
And there's one in Tacoma is the closest
Yeah, the
to.
Tacoma Mall.
Is it still all those young kids running that one into Tacoma Mall?
Show us how to get rid of these phone calls.
Yeah, if no one else has any other questions, we can quickly, we got 8-10 minutes. So stopping phone calls. Mark sent me, he clipped out an article that was in the physical newspaper and then scanned it and sent it to me about stopping, phone calls that you don't want. And, it happens. I forget who I was telling when I mentioned I was doing this topic, but I was getting these phone calls from California, and it was Hispanic phone calls, and it had mariachi music playing, and from what I could pick up from my the Spanish that I've taken and still retain, I won some prize or some vacacione in Baja, Mexico, and so I knew that's what it was, but I got 4 or 5 of them over a month's time from the same phone number, same exact message. And so I don't know what that was about, but, and I've had other things like that. And I've gotten lots at home. I think we've all gotten lots of unwanted phone calls at home. And the very first thing that you can do is go to donotcall.gov if you haven't already.
I just did that, what you have up there right now. Now,
Yep.
I get what you just were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
but I get this also, and I don't know here, but it's one of those money laundering people. They want to lend you money, or we can give you X number of dollars. I think it's up $10,000 or $100,000.
Right.
It comes from New York, Florida, Texas, California, and I think Ohio.
Yeah.
I get about 6 of them. And I've gone into the into my iPad, because I don't know how to do it on my phone, and I text them back saying, quit sending me, stop. And it just, when I do that, it seems like it increases right away for like more. So obviously.
That's because you're validating your phone number is legitimate.
Oh, so I just did this just now.
Yeah.
So what does that do?
Well, it depends. So if there are legitimate companies soliciting information or different things like that, and they're not exempt from this, because there are, charities are exempt from this. So you will still get phone calls from, the firefighters of Seattle
So do
or.
I just click on register a phone number here?
Yep. You click on register a phone number and then and you can enter multiple phone numbers at once. So you can enter your home phone and your cell phone and your work cell phone. I mean, however many
But
numbers
they
you
can
have.
disguise their phone number to the point that it almost looks like it's local.
Right. And in that instance, it would then be illegal. If they're not exempt from the do not call registry list and they start doing things like that, then that's illegal. The other thing that's illegal is, and this cannot prevent it, are robocallers, which is a program or a physical device that people use, and it just starts calling phone numbers all electronically. And then if they get someone to pick up, then an automated voice starts talking. Or once it does, then someone who's sitting at their computer or their machine then picks up the phone and starts talking to you. But those are illegal for one, or they're illegal, and therefore they don't abide by this do not call list. So it won't prevent everything.
No, but also, my kids all use cell phones and they live all over the place. And
Mhm.
so when I see an area code that could be from their area,
Mhm.
I get real curious about it.
Yep.
And I would think, maybe it's legitimate.
Yeah.
It's real tricky.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I got a 360 and it said Shelton, Washington, and it was some political ad campaign.
Mhm.
So it still happens, and there's in those
Is there any
instances
way
you just
to report it or do anything about it? Or I suppose it's so vague and you can't.
there's submit a
document it?
complaint right on here.
Oh,
You'll see up on the screen. The very first option is submit a complaint.
okay.
If you see a number and they keep calling and you don't recognize it, you can always just type that phone number into Google, and there's about half a dozen, probably more, websites of people submitting these phone numbers and who at that point in time owns the phone number, and usually what the phone call is about. And that way it's kind of like a support network, so you can say, oh, well, this is some scam from some company trying to do this or that.
So, and how do you do that?
You just type in the phone number into a search engine, whether you use Google or Bing,
Okay.
or Yahoo, whatever.
Because I
Thing
get
to
these
use.
things about 4 times a week,
Mm-hmm.
and I usually get 2 different, usually from Ohio and Texas, or from Texas and California.
Right.
Like they seem to be 1, 2, or one like that way. And then I get one from Florida, and it kind of comes down alone, but it's exactly the same recording.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could be masking their phone number, and so they're pinging off different towers in different states so that they're never caught, because they're forwarding their phone number to somewhere. And so the phone number may not even be legitimate. It just may be what you're seeing
Okay.
as
Because
where it's
when I
coming
get
from.
those state ones, they don't leave messages.
Yeah.
It says on the machine to leave a message, and they never do.
Well, if I do that, they don't leave a message if I don't answer the phone. But I hate this thing ringing in my pocket.
Oh,
And
Yep.
so what I got, I push on the bottom where it says,
Ignore.
yeah. And then when I push that, I almost within about 5 or 10 minutes, I get another phone call. If I get it from Texas, it goes to Colorado.
Right.
Or if I get it from Texas, it goes to California within about 5 minutes. And it's a different phone number altogether. And I've tried to push the ignore, and it never leaves a message though.
No, typically they don't, because once it hits the voicemail, it knows that that number knows to hang up. Sometimes they don't. I've gotten partial messages because, you know, your voicemail is going of what, you know, you're saying. Hi, this is Brian. I'm not home right now. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And so that whole time, that automated message is talking. And then once it beeps, then you get like, call us back at blah, blah, blah. And you have no idea what the rest of the message is because it's been sending that message the whole time because it thinks you've picked up. So there's that option. And again, it won't, if people are doing things illegally, obviously there's nothing it can do about preventing that kind of information from, or those phone calls getting to you. And again, it can't do, charities are exempt from that. So those the only way to stop that is to answer the phone and say whatever you want to say. I won't tell you what to say or what I say, but
But some of these charities are scams themselves.
Yeah.
some of them are. Yep.
80 or 90% of what you give goes to the
Organization, yeah.
person or
Yeah,
administrative.
To the overhead. Another option, and this is kind of, looks like this one went down in price, but there's another option, and there's several of them out there. If it is becoming a big issue, but this only works for a home phone, it won't work for a cell phone, is to plug in one of these automatic blocking phone call devices. And what it does is it knows numbers to automatically block that it, you know, have been around and people know are scams. And so it auto blocks those from the get-go. But then from there on out, if a phone number comes in and calls you and it's a scam or a number you don't ever want to receive phone calls again from, you know, like on your home phone, it's got the caller ID and you could scroll through who's called you throughout the day. It does this too. And then when you get to that number that you don't want to receive phone calls from again, you push the, where is it? Reject button. If you see up there, there's the reject button to the left of the up, down, double buttons right here. Right there, you push reject. And then you will never, as soon as it gets a phone call from that number, if I read this right, it picks up and then hangs up. So it will ring once. You'll still technically get the phone call, but this device will auto pick up and hang up on that person or that company or whatever it is. And so it can do that. Beck and I, about 2 years ago, were getting tons of phone calls from this one company all the time. And finally one day I said, and it was going on for like 6 months, I said, I've had it. Because obviously they weren't a part, they were exempt or whatever from the do not call. Finally pick up, talk to this person. They were calling the wrong number for 6 months.
Oh.
It had nothing to do with us.
So you should have answered the phone.
I should have answered the phone 6 months ago, but I didn't. But so this is another option that you can use if you really feel desperate to get people to start blocking phone numbers. It's about, looks like this one's about $50. You know, and there's other ones out there, so you can look up the different ones and see if there's one that you like. And they range from apparently about $50, and there were some that are $100. And I didn't look that closely into what the huge difference is between a $50 and a $100 one. So you can do that research on your own if you really want to explore that possibility.
Apparently Hood Canal Telephone offers that call rejection as one of their features too on their lines. You can.
Yeah, and there's another option is you can call your phone provider and say, you know, I'm receiving phone calls, and you can do it manually like that, and they may agree with you and block that phone number for
Verizon
you.
doesn't do that.
So
I tried that.
yeah, no, I think this is more for home phone.
Landlines.
Yeah. So, but I think if I remember right, I think the iPhone now has an option to be able to block phone calls from specific numbers. Yeah. So I just clicked. If you go to your recent phone calls and you click that little I icon, like the actual letter I, not an eyeball, because that means information. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's block this caller.
Where's your phone service from?
I use AT&T. But this is an iPhone feature, not
No,
a
I'm
provider.
not happy with my carrier here, and I'm looking at changing.
AT&T doesn't have the greatest service in Shelton, especially if you live in the outskirts. Like I live up in Lake Limerick, and we get like no service at our
Yeah,
house.
my friend lives over by Mason Lake, and her service is crap, and she has an iPhone as well.
Yeah.
But I have
Well-
an iPhone. It's kind of, it works.
The phone will affect your cell coverage to a degree, but it's more your service provider, not your physical device.
Yeah.
So iPhone versus Android, whether it's Samsung or HTC or
And Verizon has the best service coverage.
in this area. That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, so if you click that little icon, you can click block this caller now. I don't remember if that's a iOS 8 or 9 feature, but it's a new feature that was released. So you can block unwanted phone calls from people.
Into that.
No, you go to recents,
Okay.
and then of course you don't want to block your husband. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. But then at the very bottom, block this caller.
Okay, that's easy.
So
I have a question. Bob, when you just entered the phone numbers for the do not call registry, I entered 2 numbers, but my email came up with only
One number. Yes. I just did that too.
Okay, and you entered 2 numbers?
Yes.
Okay,
and I will.
just entered that, it just seemed to work.
okay,
I entered my email,
yeah, okay.
And I entered
And you
2
went into, you entered 2 numbers,
yeah,
and then you went into your email message?
haven't got anything yet.
Okay.
Mine came up immediately, but it only showed 1 number.
Oh,
Okay. On
It
here.
may take more time for the other one to go through.
Well, here's what I got on my phone, 1 number. Here on my iPad, I got the other number.
Yeah, it just may take time
Oh.
because I don't know why, but it just may take time. Also, I just will say this, and I don't know if this is legitimate or if this is just personal experience, but right after I signed up for that, because it takes about 30 days, takes a month for it to truly kick in, I found out in those 30 days that it seemed like those phone calls took an uptick in what I received. It's almost like they know you're going on the list and they're going to get their bang for their buck out of you still being on the list. So I will warn you, you might be like, this do not call.gov is a scam because now I'm getting a million phone calls a day. But I that was my personal experience. I don't know if it was anyone else's, but you may experience greater call volume than normal. But after a month, it should die out.
Okay, Sandy, I just got the other one came on here too. So
Yeah.
both of them, I got them back to back, like they're email to email apart. They sent it like they sent 2 emails.
Yeah.
One for this and one for that.
Yeah, it may take a while for them to verify that that's really you. So there you go. Hopefully that helps. And again, you may get more phone calls in the beginning. So I will pre-forewarn you so I don't get emails from everybody saying, how dare you sign me up for this non-legitimate service. All right.
Came in.
Good.
there's something I learned.